Hello and welcome to my channel. I am participating in the Sandys 13 Frights Before Halloween of 2022. This is fright number 6. I just made a real quick tag using some Dollar Tree stuff, some Tim Holtz stuff, things I had in my stash. So this is actually a chipboard tag, super easy, but I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. I think it's cute. I used some Scrabble tiles. This wood ghost is from the Dollar Tree. Like I said, the tags are Tim Holtz. No, they're not. Yeah, they are. They're Tim Holtz. They measure about 3 1/8 wide and about 6 1/4 tall. Then I just have a piece of jute so it can be hung. And I did a, what do you call them, like a messy bow. And I had a flat back piece here that kind of covered up where the ribbon overlapped, and then I just have a little piece here, a little piece of ephemera. On the back then, I had to use a different color down here for a pocket. If you want to use your paper wisely, this was a little bit short after I cut the front because it's double-sided paper, and so I made a pocket to cover up this amount of paper, tag that wouldn't fit, and then I just stuck a cut apart in here. I believe this is an old authentic line that I'm using, so I'll just make one real quick with you. You'll find that it's super easy. You know, when I do tags, I usually like to use this glue stick. I have really good luck with this, and I don't know why I just use it on tags, but I do. It is almost out actually, so I'm wondering if I'm going to be able, and I don't have any more, so I'm going to try and use this, but I may have to resort to a plan B. So what I do, like I said, the tag measures about 3 1/8 by 6 1/4. So the paper that I'm going to use on this one is this, kind of wild. And then just like the first one, I'm going to use this for the ghost. And it has scary words. This is so old. This is from 2011, Haunted Hollows by Teresa Collins. That is super duper old. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that real quick. 3 1/8 is what I'm looking for. Oh, cut that off. I should have probably had this cut ahead of time. I do have everything else ready to go. So here's the 3 1/8, and I just kind of like to double check and kind of tap it and hold it on the sides to make sure it's the right width, and it is. And like I said, 6 1/4, so that means there's 5 3/4 left, and that's why I did the pocket. All right, so I will probably do this one on the front and this one on the back, the other side. I always cover the back of my tags. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure that it's lined up correctly. I'm going to lay it down, and I am going to draw inside of that circle so I can use a paper punch to cut that out. I just use a regular paper punch, and it may not fit perfect. It may not be the exact size of the hole, but remember this comes with one of these, so it's easy to cover up. All right, so then what I do, like I said, I hope I have enough glue here. The first one I did, it was kind of giving me fits, so I just like to make sure I get all the edges. I'm gonna have to order more of this though. I really like it, and I'm not really a glue stick person, but for some reason I really like this stuff. It does not want to come out. Now I do have another glue stick that I bought years ago, and I'm wondering if that one's any good. I'm kind of biased with, yeah, this is not, it's almost out. Darn, that's too bad. Okay, let me see if that other one works. It's kind of, it was cheap, so I don't know. This is Doris, and it's so old that maybe it's too dry. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it's gooey. Ooh, sheesh. Oh my gosh, that's gooey. I just want to make sure I get the edges. Maybe I should use my art glitter glue. This says, yikes. Well, we'll see how it does. Maybe that's a good sign that it's going to be sticky and hold it real well. Alright, so let me go ahead and lay this down. Again, I just hold it up and kind of tap it so it lines up right. And I'm going to take my large burnishing tool here. It seems to be sticking okay. Now I do end up going around it with a file just because I don't like any kind of overhang whatsoever. Now I do need to cut off those angled sides. So I'm just going to lay this here, and I just have a blade and I'm going to trim that, and I will go around and ink it in just a minute. So it looks like it got on there nice. Now I'll do the other side. I do need to put it upside down now and go through and put a circle in there so I know where to punch the hole. Okay, and I'll go ahead and glue this piece on first. Ugh, I don't really like this. You know what? I may have to go to art glitter glue. I mean, it's coming out, but ooh, gooey, gooey. You see that? Ugh. This looks like Halloween glue spider webs. And I got to get it flat because I don't want any. Yeah, this is probably going in the garbage. Let's see what happens. I'm filling in with the glue just in case. So yeah, if you have not tried the Yoo-Hoo brand Yoo-Hoo stick, I love it. Getting low on glue, so that's why I was going to use more of the glue stick. I just dropped my pin. There we go. I just want to make sure I get those edges. Alright. And I'm going to hold it upside down so I can make sure I get it lined up like so. And that looks pretty good. Go ahead and burnish that. Let's go ahead and trim those edges, or the angled corners. Okay, now what I am going to do is take a file, and I like to go around just to make sure that there's no overhang, and to me it's just easier than using scissors and a blade. And I'm going to go over it with black soot anyway, so if you see the white core of the paper, that's totally okay. Okay, that one feels pretty good. This is just a regular nail file. Okay. Now I'll go ahead and do my pocket. So I had a little strip that was left over from another one, so I either need to put this side down or this side. I think I like that one. So this is 3 1/8, so I need to cut that to 3 1/8. Okay, perfect. And I'm just going to put glue on 3 sides. Nothing fancy. And I will do the same thing and go around it with the file. When I make tags, I never just use like that like oak tag stuff, you know, like I always use chipboard is what I'm trying to say, always. If I'm going to make a tag, I want it to last and look nice and have strength to it, so always I use a heavier base. All right, so I'll just go around, make sure that that doesn't hang over. So this bottom does a little bit down here. You can fast forward if you don't want to see me file. Okay, so now I'm going to take the black soot and I'm just going to go around the edges, and I do want to make sure that I get on the sides here so it kind of colors my chipboard tag, so it's not that brown color, that it's more black. Okay, and now this side. I like to see that shadow of black on my tags or whatever ink I'm using. I don't just do it to cover up the white edges that are cut. I like to see the effect, like a shadow effect. Okay, so it's real subtle, but you can see that there is the inked edges. So I'm going to put this off to the side for right now, and the next thing we're going to do is cover the ghost. And so anytime you're using chipboard and you need to cover a piece of wood, now this does have Halloween words, just so you know. I'm not going to waste paper, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut out a section right here. And so I want this on the top, so I'm going to flip it over and trace it with a pencil, and you have to remember to do the eyes too. And the mouth. And this is dark paper on this side, so I gotta make sure I go over it pretty heavy. Now for the ghost, you cut on the inside of the line, and for the eyes, you're going to cut on the outside of the line that you draw. And I am going to use an X-Acto knife, oops, to get the eyes out. So you probably don't want to see me cut paper. I will do that off screen real quick, and then I'll come back and show you what I do with the eyes and mouth. So I did the mouth and the one eye, but I'm using my smaller blade for this one. And like I said, you just go slightly on the outside of the line that you did, and take it slow because it's round and you don't want a square eye as you go around the corner. And then I am going to use I just go in little pieces at the rounded part. Gotta see where it's still attached. Down here. Okay. So there are times where you have to, it looks kind of rough, that you just lightly go over it with your file. And it may be that you just want to smooth out the edges by putting something in there and kind of going around, kind of poke through that roughness. Okay, so we are going to now glue that to the wood piece, and I'll just go ahead and use the art glitter glue. Always making sure I get the edge real good. Just lay that on top. line up your eyes. And let's go ahead and burnish that. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and make sure if there's any excess, like a lot of excess, I will trim that off with my, yep, like there's quite a bit here. And then the file will take care of the rest. Okay, that looks pretty good. These ghosts are so cute from the Dollar Tree. They have witches hats, I think, jack-o'-lanterns. There's cute stuff. All right. Now it looks kind of rough, but when we do the file, it will smooth it out. Okay, I still have a little bit of overhang in places, but let's just take care of that with the file. And I cut mine out. I can see just a hair of the chipboard on the ghost, but when I put the black soot on, that will cover it up. Chipped off a piece of the cheap stuff. Okay, that works for me. Let me clean up this mess. All right, let's take our black soot and go around the edges of our ghost. Again, I like to make sure I get the wood on the sides, so just not on the top, but I want it to look more black on the edges. When it comes to doing stuff like decorating, I don't know, I'd rather have, it's got to be precise. I don't like messy. Like if you're going to do something, I say do it right. Don't be happy with just okay. All right. Now this little piece, I'm also going to take my black soot. You don't see it a whole lot when it's on there, but I still want it to be black. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece on. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on the back. Now my hands are all stained. So you can see just a little bit of the paper through that hole, but I'm okay with that. Nobody's going to look that close. And by the time the bow's on there, you're not going to see it anyway. All right, so next, I'm going to glue my ghost down. I want it to go down a little bit lower so I can put the bows off to the side without covering the ghost too much. Okay. So I did not have the letters for boo, so I had to go with eek. So we'll center the E at the bottom of the ghost and just kind of put these up like so. These glue real easy with the art glitter glue. Let's do this guy first. Now you could make it, I've seen people do like a girl ghost and they'll add a bow to the top or something, maybe a bow tie, a flowers, depending on if you want it to be a male or female. My ghost is neither. Okay, you want to center that. Let's go ahead and do eek. I always do the middle letter first so that I know it's centered. Okay, so there's our first one. And I usually don't put, when I do individual letters like this, I don't always put them in a straight line because I can't, something always seems off. So that's why I kind of put one up then down, so they don't have to be lined up. Less room for error, I guess. Okay. All right, we'll let that dry. So I do want a little piece of ephemera coming off from the ghost. So I will ink the edges. I did round the edges. This is from the 6x6 collection that I had, so it had smaller ephemera. And let's just go ahead. There's that side, or there's that side. Ooh, I kind of like that one. But see, you know how on the bow I have this like moon and cat? I don't have another one of those, so I just have this little cute bear. So that's why I was going with the little kids, because I think it might match a little bit better. It's a little bit more bright. This one's a little bit more dull. Yeah, I better go with the bright side. On the bright side. So I'll just kind of put a triangular amount of glue because it's going to hang off. And angle it like so. On the other one, I did put black flat back pieces of bling on there. I could do that here, but because it has that scallop around the outside, to me that's enough decoration for that one. Okay, let's see, what do I want to do next? So I think I'll go ahead and I'll put the jute in now before I put the bow on. You got to be able to hang it. And I'll just tie a little knot here, maybe. Do a little trim. Okay. So the next part, I'm going to use wire and different pieces of ribbon. I cut mine at about 5.5 inches long, and then I fishtailed the ends. So I did that ahead of time, and you want to go from largest to smallest. So I'm going to start with it. This one's actually wired, and then I'm going to go with orange and black polka dots. So I'm just piling one on top of the other. This one has a kink in it. And then I did put a piece that has just a little bit of yellowish gold so that it goes with the broom on the bear. And there's just a little hue of yellow on here, not a whole lot. Okay, so now the tricky part for me is keeping it like that as I get a piece of thin wire. So I don't know if you can see that, it's really thin wire, and I'm going to tie it as tight as I can, and that's where I struggle. Sometimes I don't feel like I tie it very tight. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip it over. Try and make sure that it's centered. Okay, and then pull. Actually, I think I got that one pretty tight. And then we'll cut off the excess. I'm just going to wrap it one more time. It's not going anywhere. Okay. I'll go ahead and use my Tim Holtz scissors to cut off the excess. So now you're just going to start spreading them apart. I better turn on my glue gun. And you just want it to be kind of messy looking, remember, and it may be that this is too long and I'll have to trim some, and that's okay. And now I have the black and gold, or the gold, orange and black up here. So now I'm going to push the other piece diagonal from it. And it may be that I want the top ones maybe a little bit shorter. And then when I glue it, I have more control of making sure it stays open, because I'll put a big glob and then it'll help. So I have a feeling these are too long. I don't like that. So let's take a look at what it'll look like. Actually, I don't mind it being that long, but except for the top ones, I don't like that. This one is going to get an angled cut. And this one I think I'll angle cut too. Okay. And I'll glue that there. And then this time, like I said, I have the little bear to put on top. So all I have to do is glue that down, and there's your Halloween tag. I think it's kind of cute. I think it's something that people would keep from year to year too, being as you took the time to do it on chipboard. So all right, I remember there's other people in the collaboration for Sandy's Halloween 13 Frights Before Halloween. They'll be listed in my description box. This again is week 6, so there's a total of 13, so we still have 7 to go. They come out on Mondays every week until Halloween. Check out the other people's YouTube videos, and thank you so much for watching.